These are parallel line proofs, which are they're not too bad. So we're going to do a few examples here, and then I have a little practice for you to do, of course. So we're going to be able to prove lines are parallel using the converse theorems. And of course, we know our converse theorems. They're using our special angles. And if those special angles are congruent or supplementary, then we have parallel lines. So we can do that pretty well. I'm going to encourage you guys to, use some colors, use some highlighters, and make sure that when you're doing proofs, we always, we write something, we write a reason, and then we look back at our picture. We mark our picture, see where we can go from there, okay? We want to keep looking back so that we know how we have to get where we're going. So to start, what do we always start with? The given. All right, so our given is that angle 4 and angle 7 are supplementary. It says 3.6 at the top. Okay? All right, and so the reason is given. Hey, you just earned 2 points. Right? Okay, good. Okay, angle 4 and angle 7 are supplementary. So, again, I wrote something down. I'm going to go look at my picture here. So angle 4 and angle 7 are supplementary. Okay, that's kind of interesting. And we're trying to prove that J is parallel to K. This is what I'm trying to get to. I need to show that those two lines are parallel. Let's see. So I want to show two lines are parallel. We have lots of ways to show lines are parallel. What's one thing you can think of that we could? We'd have to use our theorem. So like we could pick a couple of angles and be like, hey, if these are congruent or if these are supplementary, then we'd have parallel lines. Okay, that's definitely a thing we could do. So they gave us information about angle 4 and angle 7. And so we could maybe try to find some pairs of corresponding angles. And if corresponding angles were congruent, then we would have some parallel lines.
Like 1 and 8?
Well, I'm probably going to want to use one of these angles that they've given us information about, because we're going to have to create some sort of chain to get there, okay? You got an idea there, Grayson?
5 and 7 are vertical angles, so you could get same size.
Okay, that's cool. So you're saying we could say, hey, angle 5 and angle 7. What do we know about angle 5 and angle 7? Okay, so angle 5 is congruent to angle 7. How do we know that? Vertical angles are congruent, for sure. All right, now if 5 and 7 are congruent, is there something that I could do with this statement? So what I'd like to, so if 5 and 7 are the same, can I maybe do a little replacement here? Yeah? Okay, so then angle 4 and angle 5 now are supplementary. All right, how were we able to make that statement? What did we do? Substitution, All right. And so now we know that angle 4 and angle 5 are supplementary. Hey, that was pretty slick. All right, if 4 and 5 are supplementary, what kinds of angles are those? Same side interior. Okay. So if same side interior angles are supplementary, what do we know? Yeah, then we have parallel lines. That's exactly right. So J must be parallel to K. All right. So that is not how this lady did her proof. Okay. There are about 18,000 different ways we could have made this proof happen too. Okay. And that's sort of what's hard about proofs, is there's literally 15 different ways we could have done that. Okay. We used the vertical angles. Hey, that was slick. And then we had the same side interior supplement. That's good. Here, she said, hey, 6 and 7 are supplementary because they are a linear pair. If that's a linear pair supplement theorem. And then said 4 was congruent to 6 because the congruent supplements theorem, which says that if two angles are supplementary to the same angle, then they are congruent to each other. Okay? And then she got parallel lines. So there were multiple ways to that. I like our way. It was pretty slick and easy. I liked it. Okay? We didn't have to do anything totally crazy. All right, let's see what we got going on. Let us do, let's do number 2 here. It's kind of an interesting one. All right. Hey, they're giving us a couple of parallel lines. That's interesting. All right. So right off the bat, I want to write in A is parallel to B, and that's a given. I'm also going to mark it on my picture. They're giving it to me right away, so I know that A and B are parallel, and they're also telling me that angle 2 is congruent to angle 3. Are angle 2 and angle 3 any kind of special name angles, or are they just extra information? Yeah, it's just extra information. There's no special names for those. They are adjacent, I guess you could call them, but not like corresponding or anything like that. Okay, so now I know that 2 and 3 are congruent, but I do have parallel lines. So let's look at those 2 parallel lines here again. I'm going to highlight my parallel lines a little bit so I can just see them really clearly here. If I know I have these 2 parallel lines, my goal is to show that angle 1 is congruent to angle 3. Not quite sure how I'm going to get there yet. But look at my picture and my parallel lines. If I have parallel lines, what do I know? I have parallel lines cut by a transversal here. There's my transversal. What you got, Cash?
Wouldn't 1 and 3 be like same side interior?
No. 3 is too small if it went from the transversal all the way to the parallel line. Bradley, what you got?
1 and 2 alternate interior.
Yeah, so angle 1 and angle 2 are going to be congruent. Angle 1 is congruent to angle 2. What kind of angles are they? Alternate interior. So, and we know that because they gave us parallel lines. If parallel lines, alternate interior angles are congruent. So that is knowing parallel lines. So we start with what we know. We know we have parallel lines, then we know we alternate interior angles are congruent. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Now, if 2 is congruent, or sorry, if 1 is congruent to angle 2 and 2 is congruent to angle 3, what do we know? Angle 1 is congruent to angle 3 because of the transitive. Again, that's sort of the linking chain one. 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 1 to 3. So it gets a little chain going on. All right. Okay, questions on that one? All right. All right, really pay attention to these. These are quite interesting. All right, let's see what we got going on here. All right. Number 3. Right off the bat, angle 1 is congruent to angle 7. How do I know it?
It's given.
It's given. Hey, 2 points. Oh, and then what should our final statement be? Hey, angle 4 is congruent to angle 8 should be our final statement because, so we're trying to prove, right? All right, but I'm not going to, that'd be a third point. Hey, okay. All right, next I'm going to mark my picture. I need to look at my picture in order to know what to do, right? So let's see, here I have angle 1, and it's congruent to angle 7. Are they corresponding?
No.
Alternate exterior. There we go. Good, good, good. Okay, wait. So before I continue, I need to think through what I'm trying to do here. This is what we know, and yes, these are alternate exterior. And I'm trying to show that angle 4 is congruent to angle 8. So I'm putting a little dot to help me see that. Angle 4 is supposed to be congruent to angle 8. So how are we going to get there? No, 1 and 8 would be same side exterior. No, we were talking about 4 and 8. Corresponding. All right, those are corresponding. In order to use corresponding angles to be congruent, what must we have? Parallel lines. So our first step is to prove the lines are parallel, and then we can show the corresponding angles are congruent. Okay? Are our lines parallel? Yes. Yeah, okay. So because, what kind of angles are those? Alternate. Okay, if alternate exterior angles are congruent, then what do we know? Parallel lines. What lines are parallel? L is parallel to M. So we just proved we have two parallel lines, all right? And now that we have parallel lines, what do we know about angle 4 and angle 8? Yeah, so angle 4 is congruent to angle 8 because if we have parallel lines, then corresponding angles are congruent. So that's sort of how you can think about these proofs. They're going to give us a little piece of information. We're going to have to find some parallel lines, and then we can prove another piece of information. Okay? So that's sort of how a good sort of way to go here. Number 4, where do we begin? All right, angle 5 and angle 8 are supplementary. That is the given. Feel free to abbreviate as long as it's understandable. All right, let's look at our picture. Angle 5 is right here and angle 8. All right. And then we're trying to prove angle 3 is congruent to angle 6. All right, what are angle 5 and angle 8?
Same side exterior.
Same side exterior. And I know that they are supplementary. Are they supposed to be supplementary? Oh, okay, the same side. Hey, so what do we get then if I know that they're same side? Oh, then I get parallel lines. Okay, so if same side exterior angles are supplementary, which is what they are, then we have parallel lines. Which lines are parallel?
S and R.
So R is parallel to S, and I mark my picture now because I know it's true. All right, so now I've got these two parallel lines right here. Now tell me about angle 3 and angle 6.
Alternative wait.
Mm-hmm.
Alternate interior.
Alternate interior, good. And so because if we have parallel lines, what do we know? Alternate interior angles?
Angles are congruent.
Alternate interior angles are congruent. So angle 3 is definitely congruent to angle 6. Okay? Good? Cool.
What is that? Look at number 9. What is that? Oh, what is that?
not too bad, actually. It's probably easier. It's probably easier than about easier than number 6, I'm sure. All right. Okay, we've got some parallel lines that they're giving us here. So straight off the bat here, C is parallel to D is given. So again, I'm going to mark my picture with what I know, and I know that C is parallel to D. I'm also going to go ahead and, again, highlight those lines because I know that they're parallel. I really want that to stick out in my brain because I know a lot of information when I have parallel lines. They are also telling me that angle 1 is congruent to angle 7. That is also given to me. Ladies and gentlemen, you just earned 4 points, right? Okay. Angle 1 is congruent to angle 7. I know it for sure, so I'm going to mark my picture for sure. Angle 1 is congruent to angle 7. So here, this is kind of interesting. They're giving me this information. Is there a relationship between 1 and 7? No, they're not connected by a transversal. They are not connected. We're going to have to make the connection somehow. We're trying to prove that A is parallel to B. So I'm trying to get some parallel lines, so I need to make a connection to show that those lines are parallel. Let's use those red parallel lines. What can we learn from red parallel lines? What do we know? Paxton, what did you say? 7 and 4? Okay. Okay. So angle 7 is congruent to angle 4. They have a transversal connecting them. That's absolutely true. All right. So we would know here angle 4 is congruent to angle 7. And we know that because we have parallel lines. So if parallel lines, these are alternate interior angles, all right? So alternate interior angles are congruent, okay? Fantastic. Now, look at this statement here. What we got going on with this interesting statement? Oh, so 1 would be congruent to 4. Angle 1 is congruent to angle 4. How do we know that? Transitive, very good. Because, again, that's sort of the linking thing. 1 to 7 and then 7 to 4. That's our little chain, transitive chain, okay? So I'm going to mark my picture now. 1 is congruent to 4. Those are my blue arc marks here. All right. And look at those 2 blue arc marks there. What kinds of angles are those? 1 and 4? Alternate interior, yeah. Alternate interior. Interior of what 2 lines? A and B. Hey, there we go. A is parallel to B. Why?
Because they're parallel lines.
Ooh.
Or alternate.
Yeah, these are our angles we know. Yeah, if alternate interior angles are congruent, then I'm getting my parallel lines, okay? I am proving my parallel lines. So we want to prove parallel lines. Okay, cool. And again, this is not how she did it, okay? This is not the only way to do this. I went right to corresponding angles. 1 and 3 are corresponding angles, and it would have been basically the same thing. All right, corresponding angles right here, and then transitive, and then parallel lines. Okay, so different ways to do the same thing. Let's let's turn over. Let's look at.
Thanks.
Let's look at.
that's too bad. You need a little longer.
Let's look at 9 and 10.
How about I'm helping.
I don't know, 9 and 10, maybe. Maybe 10 might be a little bit different. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, we can just,
Actually, let's do number 8 too. They both all, never mind. No, 9 and 10 is fine. We'll do 9 and 10. Okay. All right, starting here, angle 5 and angle 16 are supplementary. How do we know? Given. All right. I'm going to mark my picture. So I know that 5 and 16 are supplementary. 5 and 16 are supplementary. Tell me something about 5 and 16.
They look like all the same side interior.
same side, interior,
Same side exterior. Exterior of
P and Q.
P and Q. Okay. So that could be a way to prove P and Q are parallel. All right. Let's see. We also know angle 2 is congruent to angle 18. Why? Given. All right, angle 2 is congruent to angle 18. So again, I'm marking my picture. Mark your picture. All right, now what do you know from those two angles? Cash, what are you thinking?
I had like a whole different thought, but like, if we use the transitive, like, could we find out, like, with P, like, angle 5, the same side exterior with angle 23 to find out that P and R, line D and line R, parallel with each other.
So we'd have to prove that somehow. You'd have to have a statement that said those are supplementary, okay? What we're trying to prove that Q is parallel with R. So in green, with my green information, can I prove P and Q are parallel? Yeah, those are same side exterior. Okay, so we can get P and Q parallel. Tell me about the red stuff. Corresponding, which means P and R. Okay, so I can get P and Q parallel, and I can get P and R parallel. Let's write that down. Let's see where that goes. So from the green stuff here, knowing that 5 and 16 are same side exterior, if same side exterior angles are supplementary, what do we know? You get parallel lines. All right, and which lines do we know are parallel then? P is parallel to Q. All right, so P is parallel to Q because those are same side exterior angles that are supplementary. Okay, so we've got P is parallel to Q. Now, looking at the stuff from the red here, tell me what we know from the red. We know they're congruent. They gave that to us. So, and what kind of angles are those? If corresponding angles are congruent, then again we get parallel lines. Which lines are parallel?
P and R.
P is parallel to R. So P is parallel to R. All right, ladies and gentlemen. R is parallel to P, and P is parallel to Q. Transitive. So we're going to get Q is parallel to R by the transitive property of parallel lines, which I think transitive is fine. Totally works there. All right. Was that too high there, Was? Not too bad, was it?
I mean, like, I knew it was easy.
No, I knew it was. I just felt like joining in.
Do a harder one? We could do 7.
So, 10, she has actually done it very complicated, and I think we're going to get number 10 done actually really, really easily here. All right, so let's start here on number 10. Angle 1 and angle 7 are supplementary because given. All right. Angle 1 and angle 7. So I'm going to circle them. I'm not going to mark them congruent because they're not congruent, but I'm just drawing attention to them. I know that they're supplementary. And I'm trying to prove that line A and line B are parallel. So I can kind of do this the same way we did the first one, actually. What do you want to do? Vertical angles, yeah, we can go there. We can go lots of options. What way do you want to go?
5 and 7 are towards 5.
So, but I don't know anything about 5 and 7. I do not have parallel lines yet. So, okay, so could we say that angle 7 is congruent to angle 4? Yeah? Okay. So angle 7 is congruent to angle 4. We know that absolutely 100%. Why? Vertical angles are congruent. Beautiful. All right. So then, I know that 7 is the same as 4. Can I, oops, I want to use a different color here. Can I substitute? Yeah. So I could say angle 1 and angle 4 are supplementary. How can I do that? Substitution. All right, so now angle 1 and angle 4, angle 1 and angle 4 are supplementary. What kind of angles are angle 1 and angle 4? Same side exterior. So if same side exterior angles are supplementary, what do we get? Parallel lines. All right, which lines are parallel? A is parallel to B. All right, we're done, yeah. We did it much faster than she did it.
I think she just wanted to fill all those boxes.
Well, she might be doing it the legal way. I'm doing it the way that I think is just fine. So she's doing it using equations in the same sort of way. She's substituting to get supplementary angles. But I don't know why we can't just supplement in here. I don't see why we can't. Maybe we did it illegally, but I think it's very understandable still. Like, I think it's totally fine to do that.
Oh, like this is that way you change stuff.
So, I mean, you know, everybody has their own way. I think it works just fine. Okay? Okay. Great. Do you have questions for me? No. Okay. So...